So the Honor X9a 5G is a new phone from Honor. We have already done the unboxing and impressions of this device. You can check out the video. The link will be somewhere over here. So in this review video, we'll be diving slightly deeper into its gaming performance, camera performance, and its durability. Yes, Honor claims that they are using a anti-drop curved glass app and they have personally done many testings, and we'll do such test as well. Well, this was nothing. Let's get to the real thing. So we're gonna do the drop test of the Honor X9a 5G. Let's start. 1, 2, 3. So we dropped it from 5.75 inches and nothing has happened. We do have some marks on the screen, but the screen is working perfectly. We do have some chip damage on the frame, but overall nothing has happened. It is working pretty nice. Alright, so moving on to the design, I quite like the matrix star design. This whole camera setup, circular camera setup, is quite cool, and it is using plastic body and plastic frame, but it does not take away that premiumness of this device. It is a good material, let's say, even though it is a plastic. Also, one of the good thing is that the finish, the matte finish, does not catch any fingerprints, and yeah, it looks quite good, the finishing. But it is a large device and it is difficult to hold in one hand, and also since it curves from both sides onto the frame is edgy, so it kind of digs into your palm when you're holding it in your hand. So one of the complaints that I have about this device is that the in-display fingerprint scanner is placed quite low. So if you're using a single hand, it is a little bit difficult, feels slightly weird. So it would have been much better if it was placed a bit higher. It would have been much intuitive and easier. But the fingerprint scanner is fast, it is reliable and works really well. Now the display is a 6.67-inch Full HD AMOLED curved display with 120Hz refresh rate, 100% DCI P3 color gamut coverage, and it does have 300Hz touch sampling rate as well. Now let's talk about the quality of the AMOLED panel. Well, it is vibrant but not as saturated as the Samsung panels that we are so used to. Also, the black label is really nice and the contrast is good as well. And the brightness, yeah, it is perfect. You're not going to have any issues using it outdoors under direct sunlight. The 120Hz refresh rate smoothness feels really good when you're scrolling any apps, or while you're reading, or while you're exploring the internet. It feels quite slick. But I was using it on the fixed 120Hz refresh rate option, because if you use the dynamic option, then it will switch to 60Hz automatically while using apps like Instagram and YouTube, and that didn't felt quite smooth. So I prefer to use it on the higher 120Hz fixed refresh rate. Now, one of the highlight of the Honor X9a 5G's display is the 1920Hz PWM dimming. So what this does is it reduces the flickering of the device AMOLED panel when you're using it in lower brightness, and in turn it helps in reducing the eye strain, and automatically it also results in less headaches due to overconsumption of mobile devices or mobile displays. And also in overall, it is a good display, but for the price I would say that it is not exceptional, because we have been using the Realme 10 Pro Plus 5G as well side by side, and yeah, the display of the Realme 10 Pro Plus feels better than the display of the Honor X9a 5G. Now moving on to the performance, it is using a Snapdragon 695 5G chipset, and for the price it is not so good. Let me explain why, and first let's take a look at the benchmark scores. So it scores around 40 lakhs in Antutu 9, which is an average score for the Snapdragon 695 5G. So the Snapdragon 695 5G chipset is not the best chipset in terms of pure performance, but it is more than good enough for regular use, like video calling, opening apps and switching between them will work fine. But considering the price tag, let's say it costs around $330 depending on the region, it may vary. So with that price tag in the mind, it is not the best if you want to game on this device. So I tested the PUBG Mobile on smooth graphics and ultra frame rate. I was getting an average FPS of 39.7. I did not notice any frame drops or stutters, but it is not optimized, so you're not getting the 60 FPS option, which is the downside of the 695 5G. Likewise, Call of Duty Mobile is less of an issue in terms of max frame rate, because you can enable max setting at high graphics option, and I was getting around 58 FPS in average with no frame drops and negligible stutters. Now for Genshin Impact, it can do well in low settings at 30 FPS cap. Now I was getting average FPS of 29.2, but I did notice some slight stutter and frame drops. Now in terms of camera, it has a triple camera setup on the rear with a 64 megapixels main camera a 5 megapixels ultra-wide camera and a 2 megapixel macro. And on the front, it does come with a 16 megapixel selfie sensor. The photos look sharp, but the detail level is only average and the color is more or less on the neutral side. The exposure is good and dynamic range is pretty decent. I would say daylight photos are good enough, but you will see noise creeping in when the light is low, even in a good lit indoor settings. And interestingly, the ultra-wide photos have saturated color than the main photos, but the details are low and you can easily notice noise, so the ultra-wide camera is not that good. Likewise, there's a 2 megapixel macro lens which is pretty much useless. I don't know why manufacturers even bother with this. Moving on to the front camera, the 16 megapixel sensor does a decent job. The color looks natural and the face tone as well. The detail level is average, but the overall selfies look quite nice. And now here we see another limitation of the Snapdragon 695 5G chipset, because it cannot do 4K videos, or for that matter, it cannot even do 1080p 60 FPS videos. Well, so it is limited to 1080p 30 FPS videos, and even the 30 FPS videos are not that good because it lacks sharpness, the detail is lackluster, the color is not good, even the contrast does not look good, and overall the video from the Honor X9a 5G is not good. Moving on, it does have a decent speaker on the bottom. It is a single speaker, bottom firing, it is loud enough and the quality is nice. Not exciting, but yeah, pretty good for the price. Likewise, the haptics of the Honor X9a 5G is also good. It is strong, but it is not as crisp as I would like it to be. Comparing it to the Realme 10 Pro Plus 5G, it has much better haptics, but the haptics on this thing is also pretty nice. Now moving on to the battery, it comes with a 5100 mAh battery and it was giving me around 6 hours of screen on time in my daily usage, so it should give you more than a day of usage if you're using it moderately. And it comes with a 40-watt fast charger that takes around 15 minutes to go from 0 to 33%, and for a full charge it takes 1 hour and 18 minutes. Now there is something that might lure away people from buying the Honor X9a 5G, and that is its OS. So it is using the Magic UI 6 on top of the Android 12. To be fair, Honor has really improved the Magic UI. It is much more cleaner and much more lighter and feels well optimized, smoother, but still yeah, there are some room for improvements, and for start there are some bloatwares from Honor itself, but yeah, you can install some of them. Now in terms of customization, you are limited to very few choices when it comes to themes. There are only 3 themes. Likewise, not much choice when it comes to the icons either, but you do get a handful of choices when it comes to the customization of always on display. You do get some pretty good choices. Likewise, you can change the fingerprint animations as well, and you only get 3 choices, but yeah, I think it's fine. Also, there is this feature similar to Samsung's Edge panel. So if you swipe in from the edge, you can open a tab. So from where you can open some apps, so it is quite useful. And also there's this folder enlarge feature in home. This feature has been making its rounds on many of the new devices since it was debuted on the Nothing Phone 1. So Honor X9a 5G is a good phone when it comes to the display. The design looks great, the curved display, yeah, we really drop tested this device and it survived, so it is good. And its battery is also quite nice, but it suffers when it comes to the camera performance and actual gaming performance. So for the price, I would say that this is a okay kind of device, kind of 7.7, 7.5 out of 10. So yes, it's okay, and it's not great, but it's not bad either. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys like it, and if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, do subscribe and hit that bell icon as well for notifications. Until next time, namaste.